Hi all, Hal here with more Space Engineers, and as you can probably tell, the sun is setting on the alien world. We've got a Spirit of Le Monde up there. We still have a base. Well, we have a hostile base somewhere over there. And we have a friendly base over here. So we'll walk you through what's going on, what we've done, and what the plan is. But first, we have to get started. So let's go. So, happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. This is being recorded late Friday morning. Or oh, it's been a hell of a week so far. So, I made a post over in the community, on the community tab on the channel, and also made basically an extract post of that over on Twitter. The short version of it is that my dog unfortunately hurt his foot last weekend. And there was no visible damage. It was just a little tender. And yesterday, on Thursday, he started getting some swelling in the foot. So, talked to the vet. The vet's okay with waiting until Monday for the visit. So, yeah. Anyway, he seems to be okay, though. He, treating it like it's a little tender, not so much that it's actually a wound. No leaking or anything like that. It's good. All right. So, what have we completed? Well, last time we were together, if you remember, we were starting to build up the base, and I said that I was going to take some time to finish it off, and that's what I did. And during that process, we went ahead and did a little bit more mining. We have now cracked into the silicon, the nickel, the gold, and the iron. Right? Yeah. Okay. So yes, we've hit pretty much everything at this point. Because we haven't found cobalt yet, we're going to have to set up a small scout ship, and I think that's what we're going to do today. We'll end up doing a bit of a build. We're going to build off of this area a little bit. Now, one of the things that I had talked about doing was, and some of the folks have been saying you guys want to see me build a base, like an actual fortress. So we will probably be doing that, and what we'll do is we'll cut it into the side of the mountain over here. What I'm thinking is, let's come over here for a second, is we have that little outpost there, and I'm thinking we lay down enough blocks to get to about here or so, in line with that, and then what we'll do is we'll duplicate. I don't know if I'm going to do it from this side or not. I'll have to count out the blocks that we use. But what I'm thinking is we basically duplicate what we have there, so that corner that we're talking about connecting to about here, somewhere around here is where it's going to end up, will be the same corner, if that makes sense. Basically, if we're facing south, it'll be the eastern. Yeah, it'll be the eastern. No, it'll be south. So what is this then? That's east. Okay, so if we're facing east, the southern corner, or the southern wall, will end here, and then we'll come over here like 15 or 20 blocks, whatever that is, and then we'll drop the second line, and then that'll come back as well. Well, some of this will require us to do a little bit of smoothing on the mountain here. Basically, we're going to have to get a drill system set up, and we'll basically cut back into this, and then between the two of them, over here somewhere, thinking probably going to end up around here-ish, will be the entrance to the base. And what we'll do is we'll cut a fort into the side of the mountain. Now, what I am planning on is we are going to try to make the fort airtight. And I want to have at least 2 layers of heavy armor on any exposed face. So this is going to be a huge build. I haven't decided how big we're going to make it inside yet. But what we're going to end up with is we'll have a garage door entrance that allows us to get a, like say, a 5 or 6 block high vehicle in, because this will be large grid. And it'll be deep enough probably to do some fairly large builds, have a repair area as well as a construction and storage area. And then we'll have things like residential spaces inside. There'll be a command center. And I'm thinking probably, well, it's going to be a fortress, so we're going to have weapons on it, obviously. But we've only got vanilla weapons loaded right now, except for the compact turrets mod. So we'll see how that works out. I may end up building a couple of custom turrets or something. Alright, so that's the midterm to long-term plans. Let me walk you through the base really quick. Welcome to the base. Alright, so what we have done is we use some of the decoration blocks from the DLC, so it is still technically a vanilla game. So, you know, we have the little toilet area, we have a locker over here for suits, we have a couple of beds, another locker system, a couple of more beds, another locker system, and then a final bed. We only have one cryopod because the idea is that, you know, most people, if you're doing this for multiplayer, you're not going to need to have everybody in a cryopod because the beds act as cryopods for server reboots and things. But if you're going to have somebody who's going to be offline for an extended period of time, you can have them jump into the cryopod before they take off. And that way they're out of the way in case you need to do stuff in here. One of the things that we set up is we have the little holo table work desk. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with this, honestly. I guess what we could do is go here, and we want blueprints. Let's do this. There we go. And we're gonna scale this down to 0.05. There we go. You know what? Just leave that like it is. It's weird how they've got this. Pitch is supposed to be nose up and down. Y'all are supposed to be left and right. Alright. Actually, let's do 90. All we'll do is horizontal offset a little bit, center it up there a little. Let's pull you back here. It can go forward a little bit, and I could probably scale it up a little bit, but anyway. So yeah, we got a little bit of decoration stuff going on, and this entire area is airtight. As you can tell. Now, depending on your system, sometimes when this door is closed, you can open up the outer door and this room stays airtight. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure why, but yeah, it's been interesting. So you do have everything that you really need in here. We don't have a medical bay, but we do have the survival kit, which allows you to do the same things as the medical bay, just in smaller increments. But it also does give you a spawn point, which is good. We have the air vent back there, the O2 system, and then we swapped out the small assembler for the full-size assembler. Put our helmet back on. We have our basic refinery in here, which is connected to the small cargo block right there, small cargo container, which we have then connected over here to a connector block. Now this is an unfiltered connector block, so if you connect to it, the refineries will pull things out of your inventory regardless of what it is, right? So that includes stone.
Energy low.
One of the things that we've set up is we have a connector or a connector here passing through the sorter block, which is set to allow for no stone, and the same on this side. So basically, if you are out and about and you do, say, ground-based, like rovers and things, you'll be able to have it connect up to the block and not dump stone into the network if you don't want it. If you want stone into the network, you actually have to make the conscious effort to come back here and connect up to this one. So that way you have the ability to do it without having to continuously play with the sorter blocks. And at the same time, basically you know if somebody does it intentional. Because the only way stone shows up is to intentionally be connected to that lock. Alright, so that is everything there. Show you the outside of the base. So, you know, I'm happy with the way that the base came out style-wise. I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but it actually has kind of grown on me. And I am actually happy with this one, so anyway. Alright, so that gets us where we need to be for right now. What I think we're going to do is, we need to build an area to have a landing pad, and I'm kind of wanting it in here, but I don't know if it's going to interfere with the power collection if I land a ship in here. Do I have any plates on me? No. Okay, let's grab some plates. Oh, assembler has not made anything. How much iron do we have? 4K iron. Is that all the iron we have? Okay, so I'm gonna have to go do some mining. Bring back some more iron ore, because I'd like to get this up to probably around 21 to 28K processed. Let's see, did I put... Yeah, I put yield modules on the refinery already. Okay, so yeah, let me go ahead, because it's nighttime anyway. I'm going to go ahead and do some mining, get the our processed iron up, and we'll bring you back when the sunlight or the sun has returned. Alright, so let me go ahead and do a quick cut, and we will be right back. Alright, and we're back, everybody. Okay, so what we have been doing is we did a little bit of mining. I've gone ahead and started making up some parts, as you can see here. Got quite a bit in here, actually. Let's see, everything else has been moved over. I want to grab a few more of these. And how much iron? We got 26K iron left, so let's go ahead and crank out another 1,000 plates while we're waiting. Alright, so what we have done is I went ahead and added in a bit of a buffer here, and we created a 13 by 13 pad, which gives us an 11 by 11 actual landing area. And I'm thinking we're going to cut this down a little bit. I don't think I want it to be quite this large. But what I want to do is build the ship first, and then what we'll do is we'll revisit this whole thing. Now we are going to make an atmospheric ship, and I've been trying to figure out a couple of different things that I want to do. One of the things we're going to do first, though, is we are going to place this wonderful thing. Okay, so that's gravity aligned. That is actually good. That tells us that it's flat. And we're gonna go there. Now, should be, yes, it is secure. Yes? Okay. Just making sure. Anybody who's watched this channel for more than 5 minutes knows that I always have an issue with my designs not necessarily being the most secure when we're building things. Okay, it didn't move. That's good. And what we're going to do here is we're going to mount this for here right now. This is basically just holding it in place. We don't need it to do a whole lot yet. One of the things that I do want to do, though, let's see, that connector, if we put a conveyor. We can get rid of this for now, and get rid of that for now. Put a conveyor junction in. And so what we're going to need to do with this is this beast needs to mount there. Actually, let's go grab some stuff out of here really quick. I want to make sure this actually welds up the way I'm thinking here. Alright. So that's looking good. We need interior plates for that. Let's go ahead and grab a few of those really quick. We're not going to use many of these. At least I'm hoping that we're not going to use many of these. Alright. Okay, so this thing matches up here, right? So we're going to go up one. Yes, okay. And let's go like so. And we're going to do an O2 generator off of the back of this. Let's see, that's set up around that whole process. So let's go top mount with this, I think. Yeah, I think that should work. And then we're going to put a couple of engines on it. Mainly because the engines are cool. Well, that and the fact that it's always nice to have a place to put our what was I going to say? Ore detector. That's it. So we're going to go, we can take this stuff off of here for right now. We're going to do an ore detector. There. We want our gyro in there. And then we'll do an antenna over top of it. Keeps everything nice and compact, right? And then the O2 generator might come off. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how everything else plays out on this build first. But I think we are going to go ahead, start securing some of this up a little bit. Alright, so this thing will connect. It'll pass ice up to the O2 generator. O2 generator will also power these things. And we should be able to get O2 in the cockpit. So that should be good. Alright. So we want to go ahead and grab the parts for the antenna and the gyroscope, because those need to be... We need detector. There it is. Go ahead and have it throw 10 of those in there just because. And 10 of the radio components, because I think we need those as well. We have the parts for both of these. Let's go ahead and get this welded up really quick. Ah, crap. Alright. Come here, you. Alright, And need 4 more of those. There we go. Alright, so let's be careful with what we're welding up so we don't have to go back and get more parts. Ore detector's done. So we need the parts for the 2 engines, the conveyor block, and O2. Alright, so we want... Those are all welded up, so we want that. Conveyor junction and O2. Alright, so we should have everything to weld up all of this stuff here. And there it is. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to do is I'm going to build a small battery in here and a large battery on top of that. So let me see if we have, what do we need? We need 20 power cells per, I want 3 of these. 3? Maybe 5. I'll say 3 for now. So 60, 2, whoop. Okay, so let's go ahead and crank out 100 of these. Yeah, we've got all the material. I'm not too worried about that. It just needs to actually produce them now. And what we're going to do here is we're going to drop off everything that isn't... Actually, let's go ahead and drop all of this and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, sure. Grab 100 of those. And so what we're going to do is let's... Now the reason I'm doing this is because this little beast is our standby battery. Basically, if we end up someplace where our main batteries are dead, this will allow us to hopefully be able to recover. So we want... How do I want to do this? I could do one... let's see, if we go like so, that's going to increase our height a little bit more, and I'm kind of not wanting that. This is... These damn batteries, man. Yeah. It's like, why can't they be why can't they be even sized? Oh. I could take this a little bit longer. I think we're going to go... How about if we go... like so... like so, and that gives us what is that? That's 1, 2, 3. And if we do that, because what I'm thinking here is that I would really like to center mount this. So if we do something along the lines of this shenanigans, then we can put a cowling on that. We'll be able to bring you back this way. ahead and get all of that done. Well, now what I'm thinking is that we're probably going to need to add a few more batteries. I may need to go small batteries in here. So that'll give us lift. Ooh, Serenity Mark II. Nice. Those are actually pretty nice. It's unfortunately that they're pirates and are ridiculously well armed, but I think I captured one of those before. Different playthrough. Alright. Let's see here. So if we do that, and we go, let's say, review for right now. Do we have to flip you? So if we do that. Alright, so what are you being blocked by? You're being blocked by the engine, that thruster. So let's bring the thruster down one block then. What are you? You're in there as number 9. Alright. And then that will hopefully allow us to do that and that. And you guys will basically be out to there. We'll come through and do some greebling to clean this all up. I'm not sure what we're going to do with it, but we'll figure something out. I'll probably do something like this. And since we have the additional blocks, the block extensions, we'll actually be able to put in a connection here.
Energy critical.
Okay, let's go grab parts for this thing first. Because having this up and running would be pretty good, actually. Come on. Ah. Small battery is online. Reactor online. Solar cells. There they are. Nope, didn't want that. We only want... sure. There we go. Come on. Sit here, we're just gonna kind of hang out while we wait for everything to catch up to us here. There we go. And the reason why we want to get these up and running is because then I can start working on the batteries. And batteries will actually charge while we're waiting. Right. Okay, I can get 2 batteries. Ugh. So let's go ahead and get these guys loaded up first.
No energy.
Ah. Remember what I was saying about getting that battery in place first? And that's why we have the little battery working the way we do. So we've got pretty good visibility. Now, one of the things that I had thought about doing was actually having the connector up here, because we're only really throwing ice into it, and I may still do this, which is one of the reasons why we went with this kind of layout. I'm not planning on doing anything else with solar right this second, so... But yeah, so one of the things that I had thought about doing was putting a connector there. And what this would allow me to do is actually be able to see immediately if whether or not I'm in right position. Since we're playing this with no external cameras. So I may end up leaving that there. I haven't decided yet. We'll see how everything plays out. But ice passes through the small connectors. So I was figuring, we do that and then have the ice basically pass through the top of the ship, because it has, on top of the cockpit, it has the small connector there. Or I should say the small conveyor junction, which then comes back into the actual conveyors and allows the small materials to go where it needs to go. The other bonus on this is that if we decided to turn this into a mining craft of some kind, that would still allow us to be able to get materials on and off the ship. Where you run into the problem is that if you want to turn it into a welder, the welders require large conveyor connections. So yeah, there is that. Let's go see if we have them. Actually, let's go drop this stuff off for a second, because I've got a bunch of crap in my inventory again. So we'll just go ahead and drop all that. We want one. So yes, that's 1 and 2. Let's go ahead and get these welded up really quick. All right, now this gives us some options. So we now have the ability to place some thrusters, and I'm going to need... See, there it is with that hole. We're just going to give you plates again. Apparently we need to recharge a few tanks here really quick. And drop those out. Oh, hello. That's better. No. That's on over. Okay. So one of the things that we were talking about here is we could build into the system, say a line of thrusters here, like so, or pass them vertically, like so. I'm trying to figure out which way the line will look better if we do it. Because we don't really need a whole lot of thrust on the ship in order to keep it going the way we want it to go. We do have the ability to then go like so. Say 2 and 3. And I'm thinking I may actually like this a little bit more than the vertical. I don't know. I'm thinking we may end up with it going horizontal instead of vertical. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I'm thinking along these lines. The main reason right this second is that this allows us to have something a little bit more aerodynamically designed. And I don't think we're doing any, we haven't used any mod blocks yet. So this may end up being a completely vanilla build. And what I may do is I may do 2 racks of these thrusters. The question is this going to be able to support the mass that we have on here already? So I may need to add a couple of thrusters here and then maybe a couple of lift thrusters or something back here somewhere. So for you guys, we'll end up doing something like this. Yes. Did we get that right? Yeah, okay, we got that right. And then if we need more solar panels, like if we need more charging capacity, we can actually put another solar panel on either side and we'll stagger them back. So then we'll have a more of a swept wing look to it. So I'm thinking that might be the design. Alright, so let's try and let's go get everything welded up here. Let's see, it keeps doing that. There we go. One of you. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. So before we do anything else, we want to go in control panel, because we do not want this whole thing we don't want this thing basically eating itself before we get it welded up. Yeah, so we're going to do here. And let's see if we have the parts to do. What do we need? I need 1, 2. That's 6, so I need 12 more. So let's go ahead and grab 12 more. Ah. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so what we're really worried about here is basically being able to keep this thing stable. And we need the landing gear to be welded up. Alright. So we're going to do this. Groups. Thrusters. All. And we want... Where's our landing gear? Toggle you on and off. And we're going to go ahead and throw it over here for right now. Switch lock. Right? Okay, so the question is now we don't have any cargo on this thing. Which, you know, means basically ice is going to be burned as quickly as it goes in. But that's okay. We're not too worried about that. I just want to make sure that this thing is able to carry itself. Actually, if we do that, that's 1, 2. I should move this back 1 more. Because what I'm thinking is that if we need to do something with this, what we'll do is we'll take these 3 thrusters here, move them back a block, and then we'll put additional large thrusters on either side. So we'll end up with 3 in the middle lift thrusters. Okay. Come on. Small blocks. Alright. There it is. Alright. Is that everything over here that's really needs to be welded up? So basically what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get some of the blocks welded. Because some blocks, the mass of the block will count from the moment you actually install it. And for some, you get a partial mass added. And I can never remember which ones are which. So we're gonna play this a little safe. Alright. And check all of our batteries here. How much do you have? You have 300 kilowatts across the board. Alright. So if we do that, now we look at our max is 600 kilowatts. So each one of these can run let's see here, 2.4 megawatts to run. So all 4 of these need to be fully charged. All 4 of these will need to be fully charged before we can really do anything with the ship. So if we do oh, why do I have a feeling this is a bad idea? Let's turn that off right now. Hey, look at that. It is self-sufficient. Okay, so it's that's a good thing. So my back of the napkin math is not off much. Okay. So we may get to the point where we end up overloading this thing, but that's what makes it fun. 2, 3. You should be the last of the thrusters. Right, everything else is welded up. Scutla. Alright. So everything else is welded up. That gets us a basic flight system. And then we need a landing gear to basically be on the same level. Actually, it's one small block that should, if we go to landing gear is what, 2 blocks tall for the small one. So yes, so if we land, if we put the landing gear directly here, that'll sit flush. If we put 1 block in, actually, take you out for a second. Can I get away with that? No, but I can get away with that. So if we go... I might actually want to do it this way. that, and then we go trailing edge at a slightly more pronounced angle. Go ahead and get these off of here. And what we're going to end up doing, we'll just straight mount these, why not? That should give us enough ground clearance that we're not going to necessarily slam into the ground every time. But at the same point, it gives us enough. It should be close enough that if we need to connect on this connector, we'll be able to. Okay, I'm thinking this might work. And the rest of it is just basically armoring it up. So we're going to end up with that. And let's go here. Okay, I'm not planning on doing too much greebling at this point. But this should give us something useful, I hope. Alright, so let's go here. And then we end up with something that looks a little something like this. Right. Yeah, and I'll honestly probably come back and change this up because I'm not a huge fan of this line right now, but it's okay. Yes, it works. It works for placeholder stuff, right? And then that also gives us some room in here to do some stuff if we need to. Either armoring it up or we can actually get a bunch of small batteries in there. Actually, I can get 2 more large batteries in there if I need to. Get 1 large battery over here and 1 large battery over there. Alright, so let's take a look, make sure that we haven't just completely screwed ourselves. Nope. Alright, still flies. We're able to correct elevation and everything, so I am going to consider that to be a workable design. Alright. So the rest of it is just basically getting things like the landing gear built out and getting all of that done. I may end up with just a centerline landing gear. So one of the reasons why I like having the opposing landing gear like this for balancing is so that when you're landing, if you, I don't want to say you lose power, but if you want to keep your vehicle level, it's easier to level with 2 points of contact than on 1. But for what it is, I think we're done. Alright, so what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish welding this thing up off camera, but I'm going to go ahead and call the episode here. So when we come back on Monday, we should have hopefully some things scouted out and maybe find some cobalt. This thing will be completely welded up, and I'll probably start Depending on how the resource gathering goes this weekend, I'll probably start working on the second power generation system. Basically, we're going to take this over to that tree, like we were talking about earlier, duplicating what we have as far as all of this minus probably the landing pad. I may duplicate the landing pad as well. I haven't decided yet. One of the things that I want to do is to put in a central system for cargo so that we'll be able to have a docking area out here where ships will actually be able to dock up, especially these little, for lack of a better term, parasites. But yeah, so I think that's going to do it. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you hit that like button. If you have questions or comments, feel free to throw those down in the section below. If you haven't done so already, new to the channel, or just want to do something nice for me on this lovely Friday, I have a sad passed out puppy over on my futon. So if you want to cheer him up, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to be kept up to date around here, don't forget to ring the bell as well. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic Friday. Have a terrific weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. So we have a little bit more welding on this to do. Need to armor it up. If I need to throw in extra extra engines, we'll throw in a second thruster. Probably just take the center one out, move it over, and then duplicate over here. Move those thrusters back. Yeah, I think we've got an idea. It should be interesting.